NFTs, blockchains, tokenization. All of your cards, despite you being in Hong Kong, and all my cards, despite me being in like Canada, we can transact them. I can see what you have, you see what I have.
Crypto is the best casino in the world.
Nowadays, you open your phone, you can access to every single information from the whole planet with ChatGPT, but how to actually sort it out to find the golden information to make the right decisions?
I loved Pokemon when I was a kid. People are very easily converted into Pokemon through nostalgia. It's just like, it's the #1 franchise and IP in the world.
Why do you think so? Why a lot of people are actually loving Pokemon?
I think it's just like, they have such a big dominance in like a lot of childhood and younger generations and now like people who've grown up, it's like the nostalgic, it's very easy to like admire and get back into it.
What's up everyone? Thank you so much for tuning in for another episode at One Link Dubai. We are here with Jake, the founder at Phygitals, one of our clients at One Link, and yeah, we are just going to have a casual discussion with him with regards to his crypto journey, his company Phygitals, what they're building, because they have an amazing project coming up soon, and overall discuss ideas with regards to the market, maybe some business ideas, who knows. So stick with us, and thank you so much, Jake, for coming in.
Yeah, we really appreciate that.
Thank you for having me.
Tell us, what is your project right now?
So right now we're building Phygitals, which is physical and digital. We started off early on, we wanted to tokenize collectibles, started trying to infiltrate different IPs in Web3, and figurines became one of the first things. And yeah, the figurines did good. We did one in-house brand pretty well. Some of the drops sold out very quickly. They did good money, and then as time went on, we kind of realized that when it comes to, tokenization of physical and real-world assets, they got to be stored somewhere, right? And the problem becomes, where are you storing these assets and what is the price you're paying? So with figurines, because they're so large, you got to pay such, expensive storage costs. And then so from there, we've just been kind of figuring out what would make the most sense. And over time, it came to the conclusion that trading cards would make the most sense. There's plenty of other platforms out there now. There's more coming up and on the way. There's one on Polygon, there's Courtyard, there's BZ on Blast, Collector Crypt on Solana. One's coming out on Base, which is Ethereum. And yeah, everybody's doing cards because you can put 100,000 cards in a small box and they're transacting on chain, they're making money and covering the cost of storage, which is the main thing. So
yeah. Plus, let's not forget that the whole crypto space, it's very much the same people that used to collect Pokemon cards way before. And even right now, it's the same culture, same people, everything. But one thing I noticed about your company, because you've been working with us for some time now, it's the branding, which is one of the best brandings I find in the Web3. So could you tell us a little bit more, like who's helping you on that side? How do you manage the team, and just how you came up with the idea of this name?
Yeah, the co-founder Scred, he's insane. He's like, so he hasn't had his flowers given to him. He's like relatively, when people talk about IPs, he's very like under the radar in terms of quality, in my opinion. He's like a one-man powerhouse. He puts up with, the likes of Pudgies and Doodles, Azuki. One guy, just a madman. He has, I think, 20 years in creative design. So he's
wow.
He's a very unique talent. And yeah, I leave all the design with him and help articulate some things. And Phygitals, we were trying to think like what would make sense for branding wise for something like this. And I wanted this name. It was taken on Twitter. So I DM'd the person who had the username and spent like weeks trying to get them to sell me this username because I thought it was like OG and looked clean. Eventually they sold it to me, and then yeah, once I got a hold of that, we just ran with it.
How you both met with your co-founder?
You and your co-founder.
Well, we went way back in Web 2, and we wanted to do websites and like design agency.
That's
I
where
mean,
it's coming from.
Yeah, at a certain point where like the people who knew about Web 3 early on, and you just see like the amount of energy, attention, and money being, circulated. It just seems like a natural step for creatives, collectors, and whatnot to get into.
Why do you think that branding is so important in Web3 nowadays? What is your vision for your personal branding for the next 5 years?
I think it's very important to have a coherent and aesthetic and consumable brand. To me, it's like one of the foundations of a business, right? Especially now in younger generations, everyone is very like visual. When you go you look at like websites that are made from 10, 20 years ago, it's got very like corporate feel and just like this outdated feel. And now people are driven towards like what's flashy and if the UI and the UX. And I think that's like to me, it doesn't always matter, for certain things, but if it's consumable by a lot of people, like I really believe the UI, the UX, and the overall consumption of like the visuals of the brand really matters. And that's just like the first step, right? But
but I mean, if you go to city, everything is about visuals, and branding nowadays. It's just like memes or just, you just see and you remember.
Yeah, a lot of people are just now more than ever, like visuals is, you're like fighting for this piece of pie on the saturated social media platforms. And like, if you're going to stick out, you need to stick out well. So it's definitely like a way to garner attention and kind of get the first bite.
Is there anything exciting in the pipeline with regards to your project? Are you guys working on something specifically? Can you give us some alpha on that?
Yeah, I mean, with cards, not everybody is into trading cards, and soon we will get out of trading cards. There's other assets we're going to adopt that make sense, and we're excited to incorporate those. But with cards to start, we're going to start with Pokemon cards. Just through what we've analyzed on chain through competitors and just general sentiment, people like Pokemon. I loved Pokemon when I was a kid. People are very easily converted into Pokemon through nostalgia. It's just like, it's the number one franchise and IP in the world.
Why do you think so? Why like a lot of people are actually loving Pokemon?
I think it's just like they have such a big dominance in like a lot of childhood and younger generations and now like people who've grown up, it's like the nostalgic, it's very easy to like admire and get back into it. Why? I'm not sure. Like in some metrics, they are the largest and most successful franchise, and they've held that dominance. Pokemon Go, like, do you guys remember Pokemon Go? I'd walk outside, and it was, how does like a franchise turn all these societies into like herds of zombies walking around cities and stuff? Like, it's pretty incredible from an IP perspective.
I think if I remember correctly, first time I heard about Pokemon, I was watching cartoons on TV. That was the first time I heard about it. Yeah, exactly. But my point is that back then, because I'm born in 95, right? So this is 2000 probably, 2003, 2004. It was one of the few cartoons that was using emotional intelligence inside the series. And I feel like, I remember to this day, like it was always like a new episode on Saturday, and I woke up and I put my alarm just to wake up to see that episode, It's like an emotional roller coaster, especially if you look right now and you try to break it down from a psychological perspective. They were built in such a way that, they try to embed like, friendship and this and that and powerful principles.
Yeah.
And I like about, who is that Pokemon? You say, Pikachu! Fuck! It's not it,
Yeah, I don't know. It's they've obviously done very well, and yeah, that sense too. Anyways, yeah, like we will start with Pokemon, and that's just the go-to-market strategy. It will get.
Yeah, it's all about visuals too.
Yeah.
Remember then, you always like thinking, what is that Pokemon?
Yeah, and what's the evolution of it like?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have evolutions. And
it's like a very engaging and colorful like ecosystem of IP and franchise.
I like that Web3 gaming is actually taking this type of nostalgic feelings and bringing into the Web3 world, because it was like everybody have something from that game, but in real life. They owned a sticker, they owned a card, something from like a cartoon was in real life. It was like NFT from that time.
Yeah, I feel like collectibles is so like integrated to a lot of people's lives in some shape or form. And NFTs, it's like, in 2021, it started out as like all these silly pictures. And I mean, they went from silly pictures to billion-dollar brands. But I think it's just the technology, right? Like, forget about the IPs for a second. It's just like the problem with trading cards, and like we've explained this before, is like, okay, I have a Pokemon card and you have a Pokemon card, or a baseball card and baseball card. If I want to transact that to you, well, first, you can never, like, you're in Hong Kong and I'm in Canada. I don't know what cards you have. You don't know what cards I have. We want to trade cards. How am I going to get my card to you? It's like such this geographical barrier. And then now with like this digitized and globalized world we live in, especially with like the tech stack of NFTs, blockchains, tokenization, all of your cards, despite you being in Hong Kong, and all my cards, despite me being in like Canada, we can transact them. I can see what you have, you see what I have. I want your card. It can be done in a split second. So in terms of, not even collectibles, but like different types of assets like cars, real estate action of transacting these things, it just became a lot easier. And sure, maybe we could have done it with databases, like traditional databases, but the security, you don't have smart contracts. It's like going to a library. Why would you go to a library and you have to ask a librarian for a book, and it's up to that librarian to be there to get you this book? And versus now with like blockchain, it's like we don't have to have a middleman or some intermediary to like trade assets or do a task, right?
Yeah, or to legitimize transactions.
I love this topic because I saw a couple of videos, like of Logan Paul, he was purchasing Pokemon Go cards and they were fake.
Yeah, that too.
And this NFT actually solved that problem.
Yeah, authenticity, right? Like everything is on a ledger, it's transparent, it's not on a central database, it can't be tampered with. Everybody can read the history of it, and you don't have to rely on a central authority to like issue it, right? So it solves a lot of issues there. And despite that like side of blockchain, it's also like with smart contracts, like very complex processes that would be like crazy to do with a traditional database are very easy with smart contracts. I want to pay a royalty fee, I want to get instant payouts, like it solves things like this. So with collectibles, it can be applied very like, that's why we're doing cards, and we'll start with cards. There's lots of assets that it can work with. And I think right now, like from what I've seen in the last few months, people are migrating to real world assets. It seems like a next natural evolution of how we're going to use this technology. And right now, like it's the meme coin craze, like we're talking about this, but at a certain point, well, maybe not meme coins, but with the technology, people kind of get tired and exhausted of pure speculation assets. And now people are going to want to find comfort in things that aren't purely speculation, that have some physical backing, some intrinsic value outside of the internet. Let's say a physical collectible card or a car or an apartment building. So if we apply the technology there, right?
Yeah, and asset a business, 100%. It's the natural evolution of this space, if you ask me, because look, people, they might seem dumb, but you can only fool them so many times, right? You can scam them once, 2 times, 10 times. That's why NFTs now, they're not so big as they used to be, because people got like to a point where, okay, so, only 0.1% of the investors in NFTs, they make money. The rest of them, they lose. So then the 99.9%, they stop investing into NFTs. It's easy. And but now it seems that there's a new craze with the meme coins, but this will end too. I don't think it's going to be something like, especially at this level, you know what I mean? Maybe it will peak at one point, but I don't think it's going to be something which is like continuously sustained at the same level, Yeah. I'm curious to see what's the next wave, because it's always like when there's new waves, if you are able and you have the skill to identify them, you'll make lots of money.
Yeah.
Like I'm seeing people in our network and, people that are moving here, we help them. Bro, they are 18 years old, 19 years old, and they made like 5 million, 1 million, 3 million, It's like,
stupid amount
there's
of money.
no other space or way to make such money so fast at a young age. Nothing, period. Like not even casino, not even if you go and try to play roulette, or whatever.
Yeah, that's very true.
It's funny because people always compare, and people in the space compare, like crypto is the best casino in the world. You know what I mean? Like it has the biggest stakes, the biggest rewards,
a lot of memes in
everything.
the city about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you play your cards right, you don't have to rely on the house, but there is a lot of traps there. Like sometimes it's like hitting the lottery, but yeah, there is a sense with some meme coins, they're distributed fairly and it's like a fair chance at wealth. Of course, there's bad actors and insider groups, but they're not.
What do you think about meme coins? You invest into meme coins?
Man, I know a lot of people are making money off meme coins. I'm not one of them. Like a part of me wishes I got into it. I think maybe I've bought one, and I watch some of them, I follow them. For me, it's like, I think I got so consumed in what I'm building now, I just couldn't immerse myself in that. Because if you're going to trade meme coins, you could make a lot of money, and it could be partially luck, but that like luck increases a lot if you're showing up every day and eventually you just pick a right coin. So like you can't just like maybe get into it for a week and then it's not like some get rich quick scheme, right? So you got to like immerse yourself, or what they call like in the trenches, right? And over time, if you spend enough time, you'll probably
Of course, because imagine like you have 100 plays and 2 of those plays, they actually make you money, but they make you 500x. Like you already pay for everything, but if you don't do it consistently, just like you said, then you don't expose yourself, like how can you expect to win? I guess it's different opportunities. One of the things I would like to mention though, something I noticed is that there's a big difference of having money or making money and knowing how to keep it.
Yeah.
That's a huge difference. Like, because I have it, I know people that they make money really fast, but then they don't know what to do with it and they spend it like stupidly. So for people out there that, they feel like unmotivated, they see all those young kids making millions, tens of millions. And, because sometimes, you have like real builders and real entrepreneurs that they struggle, they spend years on trying to build businesses and sometimes it not goes their way, you know what I mean? But they get demotivated when they see like young kids making like a play of 1 million. What I will mention is this: you have something they will never have, at least they don't have it yet, which is the experience, So that's the most valuable asset in my opinion, especially as an individual, because even right now you can take everything away from me, right? Bro, in a couple of months I'll probably make it back. It's because of the experience. It's not because I got lucky. It's not because I won one time the lottery. It's not because I made 1K in a play and I made 1 million out of it.
Just made yourself.
It's the experience that you have, the network that you grow, just the everything as a whole.
It's not even about network only, because you can grow a new network. It's like your knowledge, your experiences, your even thoughts.
Exactly, your mindset, very important.
Yeah.
Like I always see it's like young kids, 20 years old, 19 years old. Oh, I win at life, and then they flex with a Lambo or with a watch. Like, bro, fuck, you don't know what.
And it's
what
not
life
even
is.
that. It's like
how
a lot
hard
of those
it
kids,
can hit you.
They make that money, and then they make this quick money, and they'll not see that quick money again.
Yeah.
And you lose this this hunger.
Yeah.
And so it's like
value.
you've achieved that amount, and once you do it, it makes you, unless you just keep going at it, they get satisfied, right? And a lot of, they make the money, they go spend it, and then you might run into an instance where you're not going to see like quick money like that again. So if you do make it, you better put it somewhere safe and then just keep building it, right?
Exactly.
Very great topic about the value of money.
Yeah.
Because if you earned $1 million, and imagine that your chart of life is like this, and the rest of your life you can't even have the same amount of money in your pocket, and your brain starts like, holy shit.
Especially because crypto is very cyclical, and I feel like especially people that already went through 1 or 2 cycles before, they now more than ever understand the need of diversification. So some of the smartest people I know in my network and everything, being that it's the second cycle or third cycle they are witnessing in crypto, they don't want to repeat the same mistakes. So now more than ever they are looking to allocate some of their portfolio, some of their money into like tangible assets like real estate, like businesses, like investments, proper investments. Because at the end of the day, crypto might go up and down. You never know. If something happens, like we know, like FTX, like Luna, all those cases, like that, people lost life savings on this,
Yeah.
So sure, it's cool to, make money fast in crypto, but don't keep all your eggs in one basket. You know what I mean?
And when we're filming this, the Bitcoin is going up and down.
Bro, literally today, it was like, I looked at the chart, 67, 68,000. Now, a few seconds away, it's 64.
Yeah. That's why with Steph, we always think that when it will boom, a lot of people right away start cashing out and reinvesting their money into real estate. Of course, the smart people, they just want, okay, it's not like huge gains, but it's something that I can rely on.
It's not even about huge gains, bro. It's about having a safety net in case shit hits the fan with the crypto. You know what I mean? Like at least now you know that you have, let's say you have 1 million portfolio, you invest 200K in a real estate asset. Anything happens, you have 200K stored there, which is like your safety net. Anything happens, you won't die from starvation. You know what I mean?
Guys, you need to be prepared before the bull run, because a lot of people think when the bull run starts, I will cash out crypto and I will reinvest in a couple of seconds. No, bro, you need to have like what?
They fall into the greediness mindset, and I don't blame them because I usually did this mistake before. It's like when you have most of your money allocated in crypto, it's easy to fall into that hole where you're thinking that, oh, if I just keep it here, it will just go up and up and up, and sometimes it just goes down. So then what you do? That's why it's in my opinion, it's not good to keep all your money in crypto. If you keep it, then have at least stable coins. Because you don't want to go. It doesn't matter how much money you have. You can have 10 million, 1 million, 100K. If you keep all your money in crypto, it's fucks with your mind.
You always need to have an infrastructure to actually cash it out fastly without taxes. This is very important because a lot of people are not thinking about that until the bull run starts.
They get hit by a tax bill.
Like, guys, think about it, and it had like at least like 1 month can change everything. You can be prepared, like, boom, you cash out, you reinvest, everything is good.
If you can get to a point where you can just buy an apartment or, you know, like housing where you don't have to like pay rent. I think that's like the best luxury you can have, where you don't have to like, at least you have like a home base, and no matter what happens, you don't have this like major bill. And so like, but it, you know, or you know, there's cases where people don't opt to do that, want to pay rent and then invest funds and your money's not sitting. But yeah, it's interesting that like people in crypto, the diversification is like, it's very odd. Like lots of people I've met, they keep under 10% in like fiat and bank accounts, and it just sits in a portfolio. But hopefully, you know, we just keep going up for a while. Or if you're holding like long term, like you want to hold for a decade and above, and it gets adopted the way some people hope so, then you'll be in a good position. But yeah, if you're in that like cycle, like let your emotions get to you and it's going up and down, it's a loser's game.
You know what I think? I think the big gains have already been made in the last cycles. Like there's only so much. How much you think Bitcoin can go up? Like, yeah, sure, in the next 10, 15, 20 years, it will go up like maybe to 3, 4, 500K, right? But like, are you willing to wait 20 years to get to that point?
To actually cash out.
The amount of money that is needed for Bitcoin to go to 500K or 1 million, it's just crazy, you know what I mean? There's already big money in crypto. There's already big money. The big players are already here. Like we see BlackRock and, you know, the big boys. So I'm not sure. Like, I feel like, yeah, if you would bought like Bitcoin at $100, $1,000, then yeah, like you are very early. But now it's still a good bet if you ask me, like as compared to other markets and so on, still a very good bet. But don't fool yourself by thinking that, oh, this is going to be like, I'm going to make 100x, you know, from investing into Ethereum or from investing into Bitcoin or from investing into the top 10 coins. That's not the case. In order to get like 100x gains, you need to find very early stage projects, you know, low market caps, meme coins, something that, you know, shoots through like.
Yeah, that's a good question. Jake, how you stay on the top to get new information? What is your thoughts about that?
I don't really trade meme coins or NFTs. I love building in the space, and I know a lot of people make a lot of money from trading them. I'm more like building like projects and companies and shipping that. I love getting paid in crypto, keep some in crypto and cash some out for, you know, necessities in life. But I've never invested like money of fiat back into crypto. Not saying that's the right or wrong thing to do. It's just I usually get paid in crypto, and that's where the store value is.
You sell the shovels like we do.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to know. Like, no one really knows what's right and wrong to do. You know, there's obviously cycles and hype cycles of different things. I think you just have to be integrated in like the social media of it. Like Twitter is obviously the number one, and you can see where trends are going. Like obviously it's meme coins. Like you can observe the market with NFTs, seeing them dry up, and then you see meme coins exploding. So if you're building in this space, maybe you adopt it in some way, but I don't know. Big projects adopting meme coins seems pretty risky right now.
I mean that we are living in the age of information, and you need to somehow like sort it, because before, like my father, your father, there was a lacking of information. You need to buy like a book to actually know something, a CD disc, you know, something like that. Nowadays, you open your phone, you can access to every single information from the whole planet with ChatGPT. But how to actually sort it out to find the golden information to make the right decisions? That's the main secret. And in Web3, everything is opened. You just need to analyze it and somehow clean the fluff.
Yeah, like Web3 came along, right? And in 2020, 2021, maybe a bit of 2022, like the amount of money that was coming in it was like crazy. And I think it was because it was this like disruptive technology and whatnot. And then now it seems to be AI, right? Like, you know, we, with our company, we're talking investors, getting a feel, and most of them aren't even really going into Web3 right now. There's still some that's being invested, but like to raise $10 million back in 2021 for a Web3 project, it was easy. Like people were flooding money into it. Now it's AI. And AI hasn't been out that long, but I mean, who knows where it's going to go from here now, right? Like with AI, like some of the ideas and tasks and projects, you know, might get like funneled out, like opportunities that we might have had. Like you want to create a website, maybe that's an opportunity. Like web design, well, how long is it going to take before AI is doing it better? So I think one of the best opportunities now, like aside from Web3 and AI, is whatever you're doing and building is learning how to use like the useful tools to your advantage, and things like AI. Like people who are building businesses and managing things and are not using tools like AI, or they're getting outworked so fast by people that use AI. And who knows if ever or how long it'll take AI to fully replace our jobs. It's such a big concern, and with the ethics of it. The people who will take your job right now are the people who are utilizing like AI very well. Like that seems to be, they're outworking, they're managing way more, and they're doing things more effective. And that's something that seems to be like a good opportunity right now.
But AI, and somehow it makes people a little bit more stupid.
It makes you so much stupider.
Yeah, like, because how new ideas and projects came up. They came up in your head with all information that is in your head, not in your
Honestly,
device.
I don't think they make you more AI. Honestly, I don't think AI makes you more stupid. I think it's up to you to decide. How I see AI is that it's a technology which can, again, just like smartphones or social media, can be used for good or for wrong.
True.
Yeah.
But it's up to you to decide. Like, sure, AI, in my opinion, two people that are using AI can have totally different experience. For example, one uses the AI, he has more free time, he uses more of his creativity. He practices his hobbies, he has more time for himself. He's more creative because he has more time, because he's using and leveraging AI. On the other hand, you have another guy which is just, doing repetitive tasks, and he's using AI, but at the same time, he's just playing video games and wasting his time. And of course, AI makes you stupid, but AI can also empower you at the same time. It's all it's up to you. It's a tool, exactly.
Yeah.
Then,
That's a great take.
I mean, just for example, you can upload any book in ChatGPT and ask questions directly to what is inside of that book. But still, if you read it, there is a process called thinking. So you read something, and your brain is like just thinking. And nowadays, a lot of people are not even thinking because we are consuming so much information. We don't have space for a new information, and we can't differentiate which information is good, which one is fake.
No, I think
in Web3, it's very important to understand what is fake, what is scammy, what is real. So that's why tool is awesome. But still you need to develop your brain.
I'm making a prediction right now. I predict that in the next 5 to 10 years, maybe earlier than that, all the social media platforms will integrate a feature which will detect whether the content is generated by AI or it's legit content, and all the content will be marked. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, everyone will mark if it's AI or not. That's very important, especially with all these deep fakes that have been around for years. I think it's just a security measure to help people differentiate what's real and what's not real.
Yeah, but it's so scary, guys. I saw the video regarding to like a kidnapping. So for example, you're a parent, you wake up at 3 a.m. and the voice of your kid is telling like, mother, I need help. And they just use the voice that you upload in Instagram. For example, you film your kid and your kid is speaking. You just download it, put it into the folder and generate the voice, and you can manipulate people. So first of all, you need to know that that exists to be prepared for that. At least you need to make a pause, like stop, like where's my kid? Is it like right there, or I need to make a decision right now? Because this thing, you need to know about the tools that can be used against you.
Yeah, I think you both have really good points. Yeah, maybe some people will get a lot smarter, and maybe majority of people rely on it too much, and we just become like dull over time. But I guess it'll just go both ways.
Bro, I'm already getting follows on Instagram from fake accounts of fake girls generated by AI that have fake OnlyFans profiles in their bio. So this is already happening. Now imagine once the technology advances more and more, and you can actually create AI videos generated where you can actually have conversations and so on. It's just crazy. So that's why I think it's inevitable, in my opinion. This technology will be out there. It's not a question of if, but when. So I see somebody building like a technology which will be adopted by the social media platforms and integrated. But again, it's going to be a clear difference, like maybe like a footprint or something, like a digital signature between AI and what's created real content and what's AI.
What do you think about Elon Musk just released robots, the wheelless?
I think Elon Musk is just the real life version of Tony Stark.
100%.
It's the closest you will get to Tony Stark. And I think he's one of the most brilliant guys and entrepreneurs and geniuses the world has ever seen. And it's also because like, bro, he's not pretending to be somebody he's not. Like the moment you watch this guy on Twitter playing video games for hours and you know he's the richest person in the world, like at one point I was like feeling shame, you know, because I feel like I'm 29, you know, like sometimes you play video games now and then it's like, it feels like you have to grow up. But the moment I saw the richest person in the world, Elon Musk, playing video games for hours and streaming it and, you know, having fun, I was like, bro, this should be something normal. At the end of the day, it's up to you if something like, you know, gaming takes over your life, or you just use it for recreational purposes. Like even now, you know, we have a culture here at One Link. We go like once, twice a week, maybe in weekend, for 2-3 hours, we play some video games together, like Dota. Yeah. I feel like it's just better than just scrolling like an idiot, you know, just on Instagram and watching mindlessly. At least games when you play like Counter-Strike or, you know, Dota, it's also about strategy. So in a sense, you also train your mind, you know?
To think ahead, to communicate, because for example, what I learned from Dota is all about communication. Yeah. If you can't speak to your teammates and you need to create your vision in your brain to wire it to their brain, to you have the same like actions on the map right now, bro, you need to actually do it.
It's teamwork strategy, because you have, you know, to fight with different characters, different people. You need to understand what items to create, where route you should go. You know, I think it's very interesting. It's like that's why it became like a sport, right? It's esports in a sense. It actually is, but it's more for like the mind. Yeah, I guess where most people get this wrong is that they focus so much into it that they forget about this, which is the physical body, you know. Yeah. But I don't think anybody will have any issues if like the top Dota teams will be all ripped and like jacked, you know. They will be like, oh yeah, let's play more Dota, you know what I mean?
Well, if you're like a pro esport player, I think like I used to skip school to play video games because I was so addicted, and I think you're right. Like you can learn such valuable skills, like tons of different things, like communication and teamwork and whatnot. I think it's just a lot of people get addicted to them because they're designed, like they're designed to make you addicted. The more addicting it is and the longer they keep you there, the more money they're making.
Because life is not so addicted.
It's not a bad thing. It's just when you're younger, you don't realize maybe how harmful it could be. So like a lot of kids are addicted to games, but just as long as you get out of it eventually and you know how to like moderate it, and you don't, you know, go into adulthood and it's like something you don't get away from, then it's like, I think it's very useful.
But there's many things like this, bro. It's like alcohol is the worst shit. It's even worse than weed and other things. You know, porn is another huge addiction that fucks up with the young people's minds, you know, more than games, honestly, you know what I mean? So there's many things about moderation. It's about yourself reaching a point where you develop yourself so that you can have the discipline to control your life and to understand what's good and what's bad, and where do you hit the point where it becomes in your detriment, in a sense, you know.
But still, you know, that robots, they're like insane. Imagine, for example, in a couple of years, I think that we will tell like, hey, robot, want to film a podcast, make a setup for us.
You know what a great business idea, and I think it's something I will consider doing once those robots actually roll out. I am thinking to create like a cafe shop here with those type of robots. In Dubai, I think is the best place to do it, and I mean, you'll be always full, honestly. I think it will always be full. And especially if you are the first mover to do this, I think it's a brilliant idea. You'll make shit ton of money. Because people, especially in areas like Dubai, which is tourist area, they come here for experiences. They want to show off on social media. They want to experience new things. The money is not a problem. It's about the experience, you know. Like there are some places where you can go dine with like AR technology and like lasers and bullshit, and it's like $1,000, I think, per person, and people are buying, and it's always like booked, you know.
They so have the Museum of Future.
Exactly.
Nowadays.
Bro, imagine you go to a cafe or to a restaurant and all the service is done by those robots. How hilarious would that be?
Yeah, if you're one of the first to do it, I think you'd make a lot of money.
And it's not that expensive though. Like one robot, it will be like 20-30K, they were selling, right? With the goal in mind to keep it, like to go, to make it down to like 10K. But 20-30K, it's not a lot. Like
when can you can buy them? Like when can they deliver to your house? You know?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
You know, for me, it's crazy. When I was a kid, I was watching the movie called iRobot. And now...
It's happening.
When I see the Instagram, I'm still like, what the fuck? It's like a cosplay? No, it's the same and even maybe better. than in the movie, because at that time I thought that no way, this would be like in 200 years, and then like AI, bam, so everything is speeding up, and this movie now is a real life.
I think it's a very good time to buy some Tesla stocks. Like this guy, he has the social media platform, which is for distribution. He has the AI, he has his own AI technology, right? Elon Musk, one of the most, developed, if you ask me. I mean, he's the one behind OpenAI, actually. He put all the money on OpenAI initially. So he understands the game. So he has the AI technology. He has the Tesla, which is the car infrastructure. So all of this together can be combined in something really, really big. And with robots and everything now, bro, I think his business will take off. I think he will be the world's first trillionaire, if you ask me.
Oh, for sure. If anyone,
Wow, such a great thought.
Yeah, he will be the world's first
Imagine like
trillionaire.
robots are building real estate. So, it's crazy.
I mean, the scary, like, from what the public image he puts out, seems like a very, like, good and trusted guy for the position that he's in. I think what's scary is, like, who will he hand the keys to even down the line and how much more advanced all these companies are going to get. I think that's where it gets scary. And, like, right now it's such a big thing. Like, one of the highest paying jobs is AI ethics. It's like, how are we going to, like, moderate and control this? What happens when a company comes out and it's like they have access to these, like, these, let's just say, agents or intelligence systems, and it's like, what are they going to use it for? And it's
what happens when you have millions of people with chip implants from Elon Musk's company Neural or whatever it's
Neuralink. Do you see?
Neuralink.
They got the guy controlling the cursor on the monitor screen, but now the next one, I forget what it's called, like Neurovision or something. They are, and I think I don't know if it's active now, but they got the restoring vision. Even if you've never seen in your life and you're blind from birth, can restore your vision. And not only will they restore your vision, but the implanter, I don't know if it's an implant, you can see infrared, you can see way farther, like the...
Bro,
feels like a joke.
For me, the most exciting use case of this, okay, of course, it's cool, like when you treat people that they have like, a disease like you just said, but just the thought in mind that you can implant a thing in your head and then you can go into VR and then you can control everything with your mind. It's like, bro, now you are playing God.
You're talking about,
Elon Musk wants to be a god.
You watched iRobot when you're a kid. I firmly believe that there's movies or media that like write the future without us knowing.
Yeah.
And one of the movies I always talk about, and like I wholeheartedly believe it's good. We're going to end up like this.
Ready Player One.
Yes. Ready Player One. I will bet money on it. It is just like, whether you like the actual movie itself, the ideology behind
I
that
need to
movie,
rewatch it.
It's amazing.
I
by
put
Steven
all my
Spielberg,
money,
one
yeah.
of the
True
greatest regisseurs in the world.
That's where we're going to be headed in this, like,
Yeah, I love
this
it.
corrupt society, where the society might fall to a point where like a virtual or online society where you can have things much easier would be much more like rewarding than real life. And now with like Neuralink, like, and the VR that's coming out and the headsets we're going to be putting on, you're going to be immersed in like a different reality that will be better than our own at some point, maybe. But.
Yeah, but I saw the video. Imagine like you have a VR, but with the realistic Unreal Engine, for example, for now, right? But imagine like 5 years, you will put the glasses on and you can't understand if this reality of this is a VR.
Yeah.
I think in 2, 3, 5 years, you will say like, holy shit.
You can distinguish the reality between the VR.
So
It's going to get crazy.
yeah, but it's, for me, it's exciting because like I'm 20 years old, 28 years old. And just now, everything is
I think
changing.
honestly we'll witness people going to Mars in our lifetime and many other things. I'm still expecting aliens, as I said in the last podcast. So I'm still expecting aliens. I think it's coming in this lifetime.
We'll invite them to our Welling villa.
To the villa here. Yeah.
We'll make a podcast with aliens.
Yeah. Could you tell us a little bit about your background? Like before you started in crypto, when did you start in crypto and what you was doing before you started your crypto journey?
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing things here and there for like as long as I can remember, maybe since high school. Just any kind of gig. Used to be like creating video game servers and then making branding and websites for video game servers and video game communities, and then playing the video games. A lot of people in North America, Europe too, they got into CSGO. I got into CSGO, played it day and night. There's, in my opinion, one of the first like kind of mimics of like NFTs and collectibles is CSGO skins. It's in Dota too. But you know, with CSGO skins, it was like they're not on chain. Yeah, with CSGO skins, it's interesting because like they're these digital items and they are similar to like the ideology and like thesis of NFTs, but they're on a central server. But people pay hundreds, even in some cases millions, for these digital items and collectibles.
Yeah.
And I think that may have helped ease me into like when NFTs came around. I somewhat understood it. I had a friend who told me about NBA Top Shot, and then he told me about like NFTs and OpenSea. We went on like OpenSea, which was the #1 NFT marketplace at the time, and we were just staring at like these NFTs like selling, and neither of us really understood it. We couldn't quite wrap our minds around why are these pictures selling for like tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands, like maybe not.
What is the
crypto
reason behind that?
And it like took me probably 2 or 3 weeks. I would sit there every day. I would open it up and I would just look at it and I'd be like, why? So I don't know. I just really piqued my interest and I just got addicted to like the whole ideology and why it was happening.
But before Web3, did you run any kind of business? I know we discussed, you said at one point that you guys ran a content and design agency, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I mean, before that, just like really like I tried everything and everything, like anything and everything. I feel like at some point, most people in e-com tried drop shipping. Yeah, throughout high school, it was like, you kind of just like open all these doors or knock on all these doors and see what opens, see what works. And some people find things that work with and others that don't.
Yeah.
So I tried so many different things and nothing ever really I never really integrated into one thing. It did really well, you know, make a bit of money here and there with, you know, Shopify, e-commerce, CSGO skins was a big one. Even just like in-person entrepreneurial stuff. But yeah, I think Web3, it's, for someone who wants to work remote or do their own thing or create a business right now, it's, you know, probably one of the biggest opportunity markets for you want to start something. Well, you know, this is where like lots of digital communities and there's demand, there's other builders who want to do things, there's lots of support. So I think everybody's gravitating towards here.
100%. You mentioned something very interesting, which in my opinion is the quality. Most people don't have it. You said that I tried many things over and over again. What's the reason, or if it's multiples, you can feel free to let us know. What are the reasons why you think you have this drive, like to try things from a young age, you know, to go out there, to try e-commerce, drop shipping, marketing, to keep going and just try? And because it's like, I feel like it's a hunger, you know, to make money, to do something. And it seems to me that you're not coming from like a very poor family or very rich family at the same time, you know, like it's something like middle class, correct me if I'm wrong. So then means you have a comfortable life. But again, what made you, you know, have this hunger and just keep pushing and keep doing things?
What was the reason? Like, what was your why?
Yeah, that's a good question. I feel like it varies person to person for me. Yeah, I my dad grew up from nothing. They came to Canada, dirt poor. And as he grew up, he was also entrepreneurial. And so like growing up, I was just see him do businesses and I probably instilled it in me and probably attributed to a good majority of why I would do things on my own. But yeah, he would instill, you know, certain beliefs and worth ethic and I would always want to be like him when I was younger. And I would say, I want to do this, that, like blah, blah, blah. And he would say, put it on paper. And eventually like he would just kind of drill it in my mind. Like, you know, you want to do something, put it on paper, figure like all the details of it. And yeah, I mean, as a high school, like as a younger adult, like teenager, I feel like you want to make money for stupid things. Like I wanted to buy CSGO skins or shoes or something stupid. And then you kind of grow older and you realize you need money for real world, like problems. You need to pay rent, food, you want to go live on your own. And so, yeah, I guess your needs and wants change, like, as rapidly. Your understanding of the world.
I like your
matures.
thought that it's like, it's all about paper sometimes. You put it on paper and it's like magically appears in your life. But first of all, you need to formulate it to have like a vision.
A lot of people have a lot of ideas, right? Like the problem is like a a lot of people have ideas. So until you start, actually formulating a plan and all this, you're not going to get very far. And then once you do, like once you try, like all it takes is to try, and you're going to fail a lot. A lot of people never, succeed right away. But I think as long as you keep trying things that you like doing or find interest in or see an opportunity in, after a certain amount of time and failures, you'll, have a success, and that can become addicting, right?
100%.
Yeah, but why some people are just stopping at
Maybe
some
it's just
point?
conditioning.
I think it's more like a programming from the childhood. They don't
that's what I'm
have
saying.
the exit from like this metrics.
Like I know my case, right? Like I grew up in the middle class family. I was always surrounded by money. My father had money, we had properties. We didn't have anything. I mean, we had food, we have everything, But the problem was that, like we had the villa with the pool and everything, but problem was that he never gave me money. And because I was growing in like a wealthy environment where I saw wealth, around me and everything, but I didn't have like, bro, I'm literally saying I didn't have $5 at school. You know what I mean? It creates like a hunger on me because I was put in situations where, for example, at high school, right? We were even in school, preschool, I had situations where people were collecting money to buy something or whatever, and I was always the one that didn't have any fucking money. I didn't have any money, but the problem wasn't that. The problem was that my colleagues knew I had a wealthy family, but I never had any money on me. Like they were going out for pizza, for drinking or whatever, just going out, and I was always like left behind, But my father always taught me something. He said, look, you're going to hate me now because I'm not giving you money, but I'm trying to teach you how to fish, not to feed you. And honestly, back then as a kid, I didn't have my mind mature and anything. And I was like, oh my God, I hate my dad. Why he's make me do these things? Like, I'm going to so much struggle, people are getting fun of me, blah, blah, blah. But now as I'm becoming an adult, I understood everything.
You understand the value of money.
100%.
It's not like just money. It's like the actions that you need to take to actually achieve that money in your pocket. And your father at that time, he knows what you need to do to get that money. Yeah. But you want just to spend it,
Exactly.
But have you ever felt, like you do not exist in this place? For example, I'm from Ukraine, and I was walking on the street, and I said, I was watching, I think like, holy shit, it's not my reality. I'm not from here, and I felt with my soul. So I always wanted to run away to different city. I ran from small city to a big city. I lived for 6 months, and then like, holy shit, it's not my reality. I want something bigger because of the ego or because of people. You feel it in your soul that I can't live here. I don't
belong here.
Yeah, I don't belong here, really,
Yeah.
right? Have you ever felt something like that in your town, maybe country, or?
Yeah, I mean, it's also a very good story. I think with parents, whether you have a lot of money or very little money, just to teach your kids the value of money goes a long way.
Yeah.
So you did a great justice by you, I'm sure. I mean, look at you now, like you have a very great life, and I'm sure a lot of people admire you. I do. I mean, it's very motivating to be in environments like this. So yeah, I mean, and to answer your question with fitting in, I would always like move around and travel. Canada's a great country. Like I was very fortunate to have the family I did, and I didn't have to worry about things, like you're saying, like food and a place to stay, which I'm very grateful for. And even, sometimes it comes down to like a lottery where you're born, and being born in one place and another can like drastically change your life, right?
Yeah, as you always say, location matters.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Just the chances of things happening like that you can't control. And yeah, I guess eventually I'd move around and try to find a place. And I think with some people, it's like you could be born somewhere and stay that place your whole life, and you can get integrated into like a country or society very easy. You grew up there, and then you go to school there, and then you get a job there. And for a lot of people, you'll live a very linear life in one place. In high school, I took a year off. I didn't get accepted into the program I wanted to, so I took a year off, worked for a bit, traveled for a bit. And then just from that, I think it made me realize to like make sure I go and see and do different things before I perhaps get into a linear life. And if I were to work a 9 to 5 and be stuck in a job in somewhere I didn't want to be. And I think after I had that realization, I just tried to work and do everything I could to have like the freedom to move around.
How you get that realization? Because a lot of people don't even understand that it's every single day is repetitive. Nothing is changing and they go the same direction as like masses. Do you remember when it was in your life? It's like, oh, well, I want to escape.
I think it's just, it's through probably traveling. You don't even need to go out of the country perhaps, or I think you just need to displace yourself and get out of your comfort zone and by any means. And maybe like, unfortunately, maybe back in time, that would be very difficult because just the landscape of working. But now there's not much reason, if you want to work remote and make money remote, I think it's very easy now. So no one should really feel confined to perhaps be stuck in one place or not, because there's just so many opportunities online that
100%. Like I live, and it's very interesting what you said. You have to go out there, you have to travel, you have to see new places, because then once you do that, you have a reference point and you have a comparison point. Like if you stay in the same box every time, like I remember personally when I came first time to Dubai, I wasn't traveling a lot, like years ago, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I was making back then like 10, 20K a month. And bro, I'm telling you, like in Romania, that's like good money. You know what I mean? I felt like I was like the king of the king, but I felt comfortable, honestly. I had the best apartment, everything. Once I came to Dubai and I understood that some people are spending that amount of money on a night out, I was like, holy shit, I'm really poor.
It's all about perspective.
So it's about perspective, exactly. Yeah. So then I took a decision. But this is interesting because actually from a young age personally, I knew that I won't live in Romania. I always told and my family and everybody, when they were asking me, so what you want to do in your life? I was like, I don't know, but I want to move once I grow older. I want to move in a country where there's endless summer, like where there's always hot weather and everything, So I guess Dubai, that's the place. But, I always wanted to be like rich within the rich people, like to play the big game, not the... not to be rich between the poor, because that's easy. Like, bro, with 10, 20K a month, you can go to hundreds of countries in this world and you'll feel like you're a king, but that's not the point. I feel like as men, we have a duty to reach such a level that first of all, we fulfill all our needs, our requirements, everything we want. Then our family needs, requirements and everything, needs and wants. And then the real game starts because you start having an impact, you get influence, and then you start having an impact on other people's lives. You help them change, and then you can, as you get more influence and more money, you can solve big problems globally, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I guess that's the goal that you should strive for. Like, yeah, sure, it's nice to have one nice car, two nice cars, a villa, a watch, but bro, those fucking material things are like, just for the moment. Like, I forgot how it's called, but you get used to those things. Like when you don't have it, you feel like, oh, it's the center of my universe. And once you get it, you're like, fuck it. Like, it's just like with toys. If you remember when you was a kid and you wanted the toy so much, you got it, you play with it 2-3 times and then you forget about it.
Yeah.
That's exactly the same thing with material
cars,
things.
Watches, anything.
Yeah, that's just how human mind works. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You get the thing that you want and then you realize, bro, I was chasing 10 years for this villa, but that's not the point of life. You know what I mean?
And when
has
you
to be
achieve
something
it,
more.
1 month, you still like, holy shit, I want to live on a palm.
Yeah, exactly.
We have a dream, basically. We want to, like, the next year, want to move to a palm to create something like huge there,
I've been to quite a few countries, but when you come here, it's a really different perspective of wealth. Like, I think it makes you realize, just how like crazy it can get here. Like back home or a certain place, you see a Lamborghini and it's like, oh my God, a Lamborghini. And then here you see, I don't know, maybe a Matsuri, Brabus, like G-Wagon driving around. And then you see these license plate. And like, I was just telling my partner about this. I'm like, it's such an unfathomable amount of wealth. It's not about the cars here. It's like, now it comes down to like a letter on your license plate.
Exactly.
And it's, it's
just for our viewers, tell them about the prices regarding to the plates.
Man, I mean, I just saw one of the plates that got sold for 8 million dirhams, a two digits plate for 8 million dirhams. That's around like $2.5 million.
$2.5 million for a plate.
For a number plate.
So your plate can be much more expensive
than a car. Yeah, bro, because
look,
there's so much money here. People already have money, so they can have all the cars they want. So then how they differentiate themselves in the rich circle, it's like who has the most expensive number, more exclusive one, And that's fine. I mean, look, at the end of the day, it's nice to have material things, but I feel like more than anything, people that have money here, they're also good good people. They have good soul, most of them. They're not like this type of criminals or that abusing other people or making money through illegal things. It's like they deserve it. They make it. They deserve it. They make their money right way. They are smart. And they enjoy it.
In Dubai, you're always... I mean, you felt the same as me, I think so, that you always discussing ideas.
Yeah.
Not other people.
Yep.
Because when you meet somebody, you're talking about Web3, about like NFTs, how to make money, how to go to the gym. In other countries, it's not working like that. It's like in this city, something is different with energy. And you start feeling it when you came here. You used the right word. Wealth, like rich, it's one thing, but wealth here is just on the next level. So that's exactly what I love about Dubai. But it's not about even the place. It's about people that are moving into this place.
Yeah, I think like before coming here, and from what I've heard, it's I've heard like, of course there's bad actors everywhere, and you hear like, oh, it's just very superficial, and everybody's like, it's like a flex culture, and I hate that. Like, I don't, in Miami, it's just about like going to the club every weekend and wasting stupid money and all this crap. But like coming here, I've had at least a very different experience. Like I've only talked to people who, at some sense, like, yes, it's like material things, like people strive towards them, and the people who get like consumed with them are just like the people you don't want to be around, right? But here, like from what I've seen and interacted with, it's more like everybody just wants to contribute in some shape or form and do something that they feel is like achieves like some sort of intrinsic motivation or value within them, and probably provide for their family. And here's just people who are building towards kind of that goal. Like there's the Solana Villa and all these connections and networks. There's people who want to build things for the betterment of the world, or all these interesting projects. And
100%. And let's not forget that 90% of the population of Dubai are expats. Only 10% are locals, and it's just a thing when you're an expat. Even in the US, some of the most successful entrepreneurs are expats. Why? Because when you go to a new country, like you go there and you move there so you can get out of your comfort zone, so you can create a better living condition for your family, correct? So because there's 90% expats here, everybody from like the Indians, like Pakistani, Filipinos, Chinese, even the ones that work low wage jobs, it's still an upgrade for them from what they live in their countries. Like they make 5-10 times more money. Bro, from a $1,000 salary, and for me it's unfathomable, right? From $1,000 salary that they earn here, they send money, they live here. But if they will stay in their own home country, they make like what? $100, $150. So it's still good opportunity for everybody. Depends on which category, which social category they are,
And when you came to Dubai, you feel that is a lot of like fancy cars, everybody's flashing money. It's because of tourists. But when you live here, you meet other people. You don't see a lot of tourists because you don't pay attention to them. You go to, for example, everybody goes to Dubai Mall, you goes to like Dubai Hills, You don't meet a lot of tourists when you are living here. They just hang out in different places.
So this is your first time in Dubai, right?
Yes, first time.
What's your first impression?
Honest.
Honest first impression.
I mean, I think when I first got here, I think it might be too like desolate, like the view. So I just came from like mountains in Canada, but now like, with the sea and the beach, I think could definitely live here. I mean, the convenience, the infrastructure, just like the accessibility of everything, it makes it very hard to leave, I think, once you get here. Expensive, but, at least there's incentives like the tax incentives and the ease of doing business kind of offset those.
What do you mean it's expensive? Like all the US people that are coming to Dubai, they say it's like way more cheaper than the US.
Okay, we came from Bangkok, which probably doesn't help. Like Bangkok is just stupid cheap. I mean, compared to Canada, it's probably the same prices, like for certain things, but also the quality of food here. Like,
yeah, but in Canada, they tax you on your money. Yeah. Then they tax you when you buy something. Then when, you know what I mean? They tax you every step of the way. This here they don't tax you.
No. Yeah, that's very true. It gets offsetted, right?
Yeah.
So it's...
And you mentioned something interesting, which is convenience. Actually, Dubai is a city which is built around convenience, and that's the point. That's why it attracts the right people. Because if you think about it, people that have businesses and want to do something that, that want to, evolve and want to make more money, they need convenience. Like they cannot be bothered with stupid stuff like going to shop and doing the groceries and do this and that, like
cooking, laundry.
You're telling
Exactly.
me you got your whole like furniture delivered in a package, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I guess my point here is that when you move here, your time is valuable, right? So because of that, you cannot spend it on cheap stuff like going to grocery store or going to wash your car or whatever. So that's why everything is so convenient, so you can maximize your output.
What I think is immigration to Dubai is one of the easiest regarding to make the perfect like home for yourself after you immigrate. Because in other countries, it's pretty hard. Even like language here, everything is in English.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. The only thing I would say is bad is I have like crazy. I just sweat when it's way too hot out. I think summers I couldn't do here, but otherwise, like absolutely no complaints. I think it's amazing.
But summer is not meant. Summer is meant to travel, bro. Like it's when the break is. Like we do sprints here. Like we come here, we work in the season, we make money, we do business, and then summer we enjoy. We go in Italy, South of France. We just travel and enjoy the money that we make in Dubai.
But still, heat is better than snow.
Yeah, I mean, right now back home, like when I go back home, it'll be negative. It'll be below freezing and no sunlight. Like you were saying, it's great. Like every day, it's consistent. It sucks when you live somewhere and it's you get into a groove of things, and then as soon as you get in this groove, like your environment changes and you have to adapt. Like it gets dark at 5, or it like things like that. It's hard to like constantly keep consistent output. So
everything is changing. You every
like
single
static,
day
right?
you perform.
But to that point, I feel like it's hot outside. Maybe we can jump in the pool a little bit.
Yeah.
Just to cool ourselves.
Bro, I want to say thank you so much for coming.
Before that, can you tell our audience where they can find you on social media or your project?
Mr. Colada or at Phygitals. We'll have 100,000 Pokemon cards tokenized by the end of this year on chain, and they're going to be sent out to free for everyone. I'll get all your clients' Solana wallets and all the community. So there'll be hundreds of thousands of cards coming to your wallets for free. And yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
Amazing.
Guys.
So guys, at Mr. Colada on Twitter, or for his company at Phygitals on Twitter.
Yeah, let's connect.
And for us, don't forget that if you're looking to move to Dubai, set up a company, obtain a residency, there's a link in the description of this video where you can schedule a free consultation call with one of our advisors. And we are looking forward to see you soon in Dubai. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.